As the current generation of console nears its end, we still have at least two big AAA games coming from Sony Interactive Entertainment, The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, but for the most part this generation is rapidly coming to a close. So Xbox Series X has had plenty of reveals already, which is awesome. Sony have been a little slower out of the gate in terms of breaking down PS5 hardware and revealing first-party games, and most have conceded Microsoft have the power narrative going forward, but Sony has a super weapon, one that no consumer-based hardware will have for at least 2 or 3 years post-launch, and that includes top-tier gaming PCs. And that weapon is PlayStation 5's bespoke custom ultra-fast SSD. Now, people may think they know a bunch about PS5's SSD, but really they don't know the half of it. Don't go anywhere, will you? It is Wednesday, May 20. Welcome back, Foxy Games UK new and existing subscribers. So most of you who keep up with this channel will know that I've been banging the PS5 Custom SSD drum for the longest. In fact, way before the 2020 Mark Sony Tech Talk. However, the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. So imagine how pleased I was that almost every developer either working on PS5 hardware directly or in communication with other developers building the future of PlayStation games for Sony's up-and-coming platform, which segues neatly into the following articles. So Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney called PS5's SSD far ahead of high-end PCs, and Sweeney's comments came at the unveiling of the company's next-gen game engine Unreal Engine 5. Showing off the power of the engine, Epic ran a tech demo on Sony's newest PlayStation 5, and it was in real time. Sweeney said the lightning-fast performance is all down to Sony's system storage advancements. The new SSD system was unveiled by Sony hardware architect Mark Cerny earlier this year. Now, the advancements are a result of a new custom-designed PCIe 4.0 SSD. The PS5 SSD has a bandwidth of up to 5 gigabytes a second. That's uncompressed data, a massive leap from the 100 megabytes on the current PS4. If you want to get into the really geeky stuff, the PS5 SSD has a 12-channel memory controller with a whopping 825 gigabyte capacity and raw speeds of up to 9 gigabytes for compressed data. That's 9 gigabytes a second. Now, TweetTime reports that there's also a specific I/O-based decompression block to massively reduce CPU overhead from decompression. And the PS5 also uses a new Kraken-based decompression system that allows developers to cram 10% more data into compressed blocks. To achieve this, Sweeney explained that Sony puts a vast amount of flash memory very close to the processor. This allows the PS5 to store large amounts of data as video memory in its native format. And to cut a long story short, the PS5 is better at processing high-resolution renders system-wide. Now, the PS5 has an immense amount of GPU power, but also multi-order bandwidth increase in storage management. Sweeney went on to say this is where Sony's innovation stands out, and Microsoft also created a custom SSD for the next generation Xbox, but the real difference is in the fact that Sony managed to create an SSD and vastly improve the way it interacts with the overall PS5 data management system. Think of it as like an iOS, and it's so smooth because it's designed exclusively for the iPhone and its hardware. Other reasons the PS5 will be so fast are software optimization and the innate benefits of shifting to NAND flash storage. Now here's a quote. "We've been working super close with Sony for quite a long time on storage. The storage architecture of the PS5 is far ahead of anything you can buy on the PC for any amount of money right now. It's going to help drive future PCs." Tim Sweeney there. So the result of this leap is in a new game experience, one where instantaneous open world gaming is more possible than ever before. Since the PS5 can blast data at nearly 5 gigabytes per second on the front end, it translates to ultra-fast load times and seamless gameplay. Now, of the demo called Lumen in the Land of Nanite, Epic also showed off its two new tools, Lumens and a dynamic global illumination tool, and Nanite, a virtualized geometry that lets artists import film quality art and assets into Unreal Engine. This is also part of Epic Games' goal to help make gaming a more immersive, instantaneous experience. Epic's CTO Kim Libreri told IGN that the goal with Unreal Engine 5 is to make game worlds as immersive and realistic as modern movies. With Unreal Engine 5, Epic hopes to achieve that by bringing dynamic environments into gameplay, allowing environmental changes to happen in real time. Powered by the PS5, this is actually possible. Sweeney also promised that the features would make their way to all next generation consoles, including the Xbox. Sweeney believes that Sony and Microsoft's upgrades will push PC makers to really invest in developing custom components and game development. While consoles have always lagged behind PC gaming traditionally, it looks like a switch in fortunes, at least in the short term. So just to add a little caveat there, of course the technology is going to be available across many generations of hardware, PS4, Xbox One, even Nintendo Switch and mobiles. However, as we know, those systems do not have SSD, and certainly the Xbox Series X does not have the capability that the PS5 does, at least in terms of SSD. So there will be some design choices and decisions that will have to be made for those hardware formats, because of the way the PS5 SSD is pretty much unrestricted and allows the engine to fully take advantage of its feature set. Of course, Sony has remained quite tight-lipped about the PS5, and with no details on what it looks like or how much it will cost, the company was scheduled to host a virtual event on June 4, which has reportedly been cancelled. At the Sony corporate strategy meeting on May 19, CEO and President Kenichiro Yoshida hinted to PlayStation fans that they will not have to wait much longer to see some of the games that are being developed for the PlayStation 5. As for the PS5 itself, the wait continues. But it's not just Tim Sweeney saying this stuff, as industry respected legendary developer John McCormack at ID Software, creators of Doom, also said the following about PS5's SSD. Here's a quote: "Being able to load GPU formatted data directly into GPU memory from an SSD is a big deal." So McCormack is pretty much in agreement with Sweeney there, and the exchange took place over on Twitter. It certainly appears PS5's lead system architect Mark Cerny has taken the PS5 into a rather unique direction that PCs may not be able to emulate for years to come. And given Unreal Engine 5 was designed to take full advantage of PS5's unique custom architecture, the PS5, which will feature a custom 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU clocked at around 3.5 GHz, that's variable frequency, and a custom GPU based on AMD's RDNA 2 technology, architecture hardware promising around 10.3 teraflops of raw compute power, with 36 compute units clocked at 2.23 GHz. Also variable frequency, though developers claim the higher end of that clock frequency is mostly attainable under load. PS5 also has 16GB of GDDR6 RAM and a custom 825GB ultra-fast SSD built directly into the motherboard, allowing massive amounts of data to be funneled. Fat pipe. PS5's SSD can load a whopping 16GB of RAM in under 2 seconds, virtually eliminating load times across the board and allowing for vast open world levels with very little restriction. Then you've got that Kraken decompression technology crunching through the data with 2 I/O coprocessors, and there's on-chip RAM, allowing really the system to work in tandem with what Sony call the geometry engine, a new block that will give developers more control over triangles, primitive rendering, as I say, something that the Unreal Engine 5 takes full advantage of, given full control over geometry culling. Like I said, PS5's SSD is so far ahead of the game, it's literally cutting edge, bleeding edge technology. So far ahead of its time, there is simply nothing else like it. Not even close. Though what say you? Go ahead, sound off, share your thoughts and opinions on today's news, because that unfortunately brings us to the end of another video, but let's continue the discussion cordially in the comments. And for all your current and next gen news updates, rumour and rampant speculation, hit the like button, spread the word, and yes, keep it locked to Foxy Games UK. Remember, relevant links where applicable can be found in this video's description. Subscribe to Foxy Games UK, remember to hit the notification bell so you never miss content. Thumbs up if you like it here, and help us reach more like-minded gamers simply by sharing the video. And you can consider supporting Foxy Games UK via Patreon, and or grab yourself a Foxy Games UK branded t-shirt or hoodie as part of the deal, available in various colours and designs. You'll find both links in this video's description. Appreciate the support. that concludes our time together today. Certainly great hanging out on this Wednesday. But until the next video, remember, play games, not corporations.